All right, so here we have Bitcoin on Bybit on the 1 hour. As you see, we have fell below the moving averages. We were talking about getting a retest of this range at 750, 2750, but we kind of front ran it. So yeah, I mean, even if we would have got up here, I do think we would have got rejected, front ran that level, and now we have fallen below the moving averages. Got pretty almost $1,000 move right here. So if you were short, you did pretty well. So your moving averages are starting to curl over. So if you get a multi-cross here, which is one of my strategies, and they start to fan out, this is going to get really ugly. You did fall in below the signal line and below into the bearish control zone. MACD, pretty fresh cross of the signal line, pretty fresh cross, well, fresh cross of the zero line. Negative momentum is increasing drastically. And so if we get below this low on the histogram, it's not going to look too good. By the way, your RSI and your MACD are both momentum oscillators. They judge bullish and bearish momentum. Right here's your BBWP, measures volatility, and as you see, your BBWP has gotten far above its moving average, working its way up to the red line. High volatility right now. We did come up to this VPVR level, the POC point of control on the VPVR. Front ran that, and it looks like we're going to find major resistance there, which we were talking about in the Discord. Definitely join the Discord. A lot of good conversation about trading crypto and investing there. We stay ahead of these moves. A lot of times we talk about the moves in the Discord before I can even get the videos out. So got rejected from the POC. Are we going to go back down? That's the question right now. And the next stop would be this purple zone at 19K to 18,750 region. If we do break that, I think we will get a bounce, at even numbers on the way down, probably 17K, minor bounce. Ultimately, I think we go down to 16K. We've been talking about this move for a long time. As soon as we got rejected from this red zone, we were talking about 16K. So if you watch these videos, you stayed ahead of this curve. Once we got up to 25K, made quite a bit of money on the way down. So let's move on to the 4 hour, because I want to talk about this. Looks like shit, and especially if this 1 hour continues to fall, it's going to look even worse. RSI did fall below the signal line, coming back up, probably get a retest. We might have a little bounce here. MACD's rolling over, probably going to cross its signal line. Positive momentum starting to wane on the histogram as your BBWP works its way up into the upper zone above its moving average. So best case scenario is that we come up to 2190 and probably get a rejection from the 21 on the 4 hour. That's going to be a major level of resistance. We also have a minor VPVR level at that price point. Let's move on to the daily, because the daily doesn't look too good either. We did get rejected from the signal line on the RSI. We are still deep into the bearish control zone. MACD, pretty fresh cross to the downside. Negative momentum's pretty stable. As your BBWP crosses below its moving average, though. So, could have staircase down. You know what I mean? Not too much volatility, but just enough to wreck you if you're long. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to stay nimble in this market right now. Be careful, because this could get very ugly. I want to go to the weekly. Now, look at this weekly. We have been in the bearish control zone for quite a while. We are now below the signal line. MACD's below its zero line, and it's kind of flattening out right on this signal line. And your BBWP has worked its way down into the lower zone below its moving average. As you see, we're kind of basically just ranging here. So if we do get the bounce, and let's go back down to the 1 hour. If we can get back into this range and cross that 200, I do think we come back up to the 24,500 region. And that's if we break the 200. Now, that scenario has a less probability. So we will find out, because if you can get back up to the 200 and make a higher high, I think you would at least break the POC point of control at 21,400. If you can break that, come up to the top of the range at 21,760. Minor pullback at 22,600, and then ultimately work your way up to 24 to 24,500. On the, let's see here. So, I mean, basically, watch these moving averages. If they have a multi-crossover and start to fan out, it's probably going to break this last low at 19,500, work its way down to 19K. Probably get some sort of bounce there, but ultimately I think we would go to 16K. That would also imply that this MACD continues printing dark red bars on the histogram as your MACD line continues its downside curvature. Once this signal line crosses that zero line, 16K is going to happen really quick. As your RSI would stay in the bearish control zone. Now, to the upside, if we can cross these moving averages and get back above the signal line, which will work its way down to the top of the bearish control zone by the time we would get there, I would expect this to come up to the 200. That would also imply that this was a fake out and some sort of a bear trap, and the MACD gets back above its zero line. As I said before, lower probability, but you know, I always want to give the bullish case as well. So let's move on to Ethereum. By the way, if you guys are liking this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. Like I said, one being the Discord, a lot of good conversation there. Definitely join the Discord. Stay ahead of these moves. Watch these videos. Like and subscribe to the channel so you get notified. This time-sensitive content. Turn on those bell notifications. So here on Ethereum, we have finally came down to the bearish control zone. Looks like we could get some sort of bounce here, probably up to the top of the bearish control zone and get rejected again. You are below your signal line. MACD, fresh cross to the downside of the signal line, working its way down to the zero line. Need to get back below 1423. So once we have another $100 move, we will get below this zero line, and that will be bad. I would expect us to break this POC level pretty quickly if we do work our way farther into the bearish control zone. So 1423 is all the way down here at this last low. That's what I'm saying. If you break that zero line on the MACD, you're going to break this last low. That's going to look very bad. I think we would come down to the red zone very quickly. Now, if we break 1350, $1,000 is the next level. That would also imply that we get deeper into the bearish control zone. Your BBWP is above its moving average, working its way up. So we got high volatility with Ethereum right now. You did get support on the 100, but your 21 and your 50 are curling over. 200 also has a downside slope, almost flat, but it takes longer to catch up. So this purple zone that we had drawn out was exactly where we got rejected from. That's what I'm saying. If you watch these videos, you stay ahead of the curve. So yeah, we had our ascending wedge here. As soon as we broke out of that, had the retest, that was your second chance to get out. And also, you had a multi-crossover. So that's what I'm saying. These signals, we had two signals right here. Actually, three signals because we got the retest and resumption down. Let's move on to the 4 hour. Here on your 4 hour, you could make a higher low. I mean, you're going to find support at 1492, 1490. All right. On the 4 hour, you're testing the signal line. So maybe you get a little bounce here. Maybe you come up to the zero line at the 50 level on the RSI. But ultimately, I think you cross that signal line, enter the bearish control zone. MACD, curling over. Basically get rejected from the zero line. We have strong resistance here at the zero line. But if you do get the bounce, I think you come up to the zero line, but then get rejected. BBWP is above its moving average in the upper zone. So volatility will resume. You got rejected from the 50 and this purple zone like we were talking about. Your 100 did just cross your 200. So in the medium term, it's not looking good. You also got rejected from this POC point of control in the VPVR, which is your gray indicator right here. Measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. So let's move on to the daily and check out Ethereum. Lower highs, lower lows. Entering the bearish control zone. Get out of here. Yeah, so your signal line's right at the top of the bearish control zone. As you see, that's high resistance. Been getting rejected from your signal line 3 times. Lower highs, lower lows. Now, let's see here. Do we have... No, we do not. Nope, no bullish divergence. MACD, fresh cross to the 0 line. Negative momentum is stable. BBWP did cross below its moving average into the lower zone. So here on the daily, you know, we could just stair step down. But the next step down is going to be 1350. So if we cannot get back above this 21 and this 50 on the daily at 1650, we're probably going to go down, and we already got rejected from it. So that's the level we need to get back above. If we can, I think we go up to 1700, then 1800, then 1900. But ultimately, I don't think that's a higher probability. I think the higher probability is that we go to the downside. Now, if we break the $1,000 mark, next stop is 680. 680. Ultimately, I think we go there. Watch when you see older, newer videos, you know, in a month or two, a few months, you know, and we'll see if I'm right. 1680 is what I'm looking at. All right. So that's about it for Ethereum. Let's go to Solana. Solana basically front ran the 200. Moving averages are all curling over. Bounced off the bottom of our purple zone. Got the POC point of control at the VPVR coming in at the 100, 50, and 21, and the top of this purple zone. I don't think we get above there. If we do get the bounce here, I think we go up to 3190. We're deep into the bearish control zone, so that would imply that we come to the top of the bearish control zone. We are below our signal line. MACD, trying to make that fresh cross to the downside, probably going to happen, or we're going to get support here and bounce up a little bit. Negative momentum on the histogram is increasing as your BBWP crossed its moving average recently. So the volatility is beginning. Like I said, you could get a bounce. If Bitcoin bounces, this is going to bounce up to 3190 in my opinion. But once we break this last low at $30, if it does happen, let's put on a fib and see where we could end up. So swing low, swing high. I go off closures, by the way. And let's see what we got. Next level I'd be looking at would be 28.50. Then between $26 and $25.50. Those would be the levels I'd be looking at. Let's go ahead and put some purple zones. So we got one here. And got one here. Between the 414 and the 618. Well, the 1.414, 1.618, 2.414, 2.618. Those are the levels I'd be looking at. Take it level by level. You'll probably get some sort of bounces at each one of those levels. But definitely stay nimble right now. Let's move on to the 4 hour. 4 hour, just entering the bearish control zone, just getting below that signal line. One tick is what happened. We got into the bearish control zone and crossed the signal line within one tick. MACD scrolling over. Going to have high level of resistance at this level at the 0.20, negative 0.20 level on the MACD. Positive momentum is starting to wane. As you see, that MACD line's curling over. So if we do get the bounce, it'll probably go up a little bit and then cross the signal line, or this is it. And we're just going to go down from here. There is a bullish and a bearish case at this point, and the bearish case is probably 70%. But that does not mean that it's going to happen. You know, you always have that 30, you always have that smaller percentage. So just because the percentage is higher doesn't mean that that's for sure going to happen, obviously. But all I expect if we do get a little bullish is a bounce up to the top of this purple zone at 31, basically 88 region. BBWP is above its moving average, so here comes the volatility. All right, let's move on to the daily real quick and check this out. Lower highs, lower lows. Oh man, RSI got rejected from the signal line. We're deep into the bearish control zone. MACD, pretty fresh cross to the 0 line. Negative momentum is stable on the histogram. BBWP, however, is going lower. into the lower zone and below your moving average. So like I said, same with Bitcoin. If we do go down, I think this stair steps down. But that's still big moves on the daily. You know what I mean? Like on the daily, you could get a move. I mean, your next stair step pattern is down here to this next purple zone. Like I said, at 28, basically 28.50. And after that, 25.50. That's what I'm looking at. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Once again, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below, one being the Discord. Everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.